Melissa, it's April. I wanted to give you this video critique just because I think it'll be easier. You talked about the tabs not working for you, and then the letter F on, I believe you said the PDF wasn't showing right. Let me see if I can pull that up here on your downloads. Oh, okay. That's probably because of a font issue. I can see the F is not being converted. Let me see what font you're using here. Hold on. Europeans. Yeah, that's probably why. I would probably change that to be a different font that's more typically used. The only way around that would be, I don't even know. I guess I have it on my computer, but there must be some type of an issue using that. Might be like a copyright thing where the font just goes crazy. It also can be that it's because I don't know if you're, let me try and export this here real quick. Because sometimes if you're on a PC versus a Mac, it also, there's a difference between that too. So let me go to my desktop. I'm going to save this to my desktop without doing anything. Let me go ahead and upload this. Oops. Yeah, it shows on my end. I'll show you here real quick, my desktop. So it might be because if you're on a PC, it could be like a PC versus Mac thing, but when I export your PDF from your InDesign file, it's showing the F, whereas yours was not. So as long as I could get into your InDesign, it should be okay. But if you were to say export this for print purposes for a printer, you're going to want to give them your font and then maybe look into the font itself because I'm not sure where you found that font. As far as the tabs go, let me see where you were tabbing. I'm not quite sure where you were. Oh, for the you're probably saying it for the page numbers. Let's zoom in here. All right, so take your type tool and just highlight your information down here. And then you want to go to type tabs. And you do have it set here. This looks good. And it's butting up against that. So that looks good. Yeah, so that's set. This one. Okay. This one's set. It looks like you have it set as a centered one here. So what we want to do is we want to change this. Let me see here. Yeah, let's pull that off. And we want to do a right justified tab right here. Here we go. And then it should do it. Let's do that again. Okay, I lost my tab there. Okay. Okay. And then we want to just do a tab in front of that word. If that happens, that's just pulling this over a little bit more so I put a right indent tab right where the 7 is, almost to the 7. And put the cursor right in front of the word change. So delete that space out and hit tab and it should go right to that. Okay. Hopefully you won't have any issues with that. As far as your other information here goes, let's take a look at this. I'm going to delete this just so I can get in here. What I would say is this looks really good. I think that you're doing a great job laying this out. I like all your elements in here and you're tying it together. It looks great. For the headline, I probably would maybe move this so it's a little closer together. I see that you're kind of, playing around with this, which is great, but it's a little hard to read. So what I would do is just move this in just a little closer together so that the line spacing is closer. Something like that would be really nice. So just kind of pulling that in a little bit. See how it kind of changes it. You have some weird outline up here going on here. Let me see. Something's locked. And go to your layers. There's something here that is, I can't get to, but that's really strange. Okay. Whatever this is, let me zoom in. Maybe that's just a visual thing. Huh, that's really strange. Oh, I see. Okay. You don't have to put an outline on, you don't have to put an outline around your file. I would just delete that. I'm not quite sure why that's there. Same thing here, like whatever this is, just get rid of that. I don't know why I can't get a hold of that, but it seems like something is locked. But everything in layers looks fine. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It's very strange. Whatever this is, if you can get in there and delete this, I don't know. Maybe it's your, oh, it's your trim, I think. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Go to your parent pages, just delete this altogether. You don't need that. Just delete that. Keep your page numbers, keep it simple. Yeah, you don't need all that. So just delete that. If you want to do like a color, just do it. Don't do it on the parent pages. Just do it like, just do it like right on your page. And don't do an outline, just, you know, because that's not really going to print. So let's say if you want to do like a slight, I think you had like a color like that. Just set up your square, send it to back, and then you can kind of give it that nice look of off-white there. Okay. The next thing is I would pull in this body copy box. It's way too close to the box color here. Just give it some margin space on both sides. And I would break this up into at least 2 or 3 columns, just because the line length is getting too long. So maybe 2 would be fine here. Okay. And I would probably capitalize what and can and do. Just because you capitalize A, U, and C, you don't have to necessarily do all of the, you know, just do the main words. Keep that consistent. Okay. Stay positive. Anything like this you'll want to fix. This is a widow. So how I would fix that is just putting my cursor above where, say, like a word is hanging without support underneath and doing a shift return, shift return, shift return, and getting at least more words there so it's not by itself. Same thing here. Now you can address hyphens too. I think that's under preferences. Hyphens. If you go to, oh no, I'm sorry. I always forget how to do this because it changed recently. So you'll want to go to your paragraph panel under window and click on the right-hand corner here and choose hyphenation. And let's do fewer hyphens. We'll just slide that on over. And that's going to fix any type of hyphenation that you have going on. Too many hyphens. I mean, it's okay to have a couple, but it'll fix some of those. We do want to fix the issue here with problem. Another thing that you can do, say, you know, you almost have this up to the next line, pull up your character palette, select just that widow and the line before it, and we're going to suck it in a little bit, meaning track it in a little bit. This is the tracking. So if you can get that up without it being too squished, I'd say nothing, you know, -8 might be okay with this font, but sometimes, you know, it could be an issue, but see how that kind of brought it back up there. So that's how you could do that. It looks like your baselines aren't aligning. So I want to check out your style guides. Let's go to styles, And let's go to your character styles. Oh, I'm sorry, your paragraph styles. Paragraph styles. Okay. Your body copy. You need to have this aligned to the baseline. So double click on your body copy. Let's see what we got here. Not double click. I'm gonna click one time on it and then bring up again your paragraph styles. All right, see how body copy, see how in your paragraph panel, this isn't selected. You want align to baseline grid for your body copy. Okay, so that means all of your copy in here, you want to select. Oh, you have separate text boxes. We don't want that either. Okay, that's going to be a problem. You don't want to do separate text boxes. So let's start over in the beginning here. I'm glad I noticed that. Let's delete all this body copy. Let's show you how to do this the right way. And I did show this in the lecture, so make sure you're going through my lecture. It's okay to have this in a separate box, but the rest of the body copy you really want to have all in one. So let's see here, links. I'm going to have to go and download that Word file again. Hold on one second. Stop sharing. Go back to newsletter assignment. Download the newsletter. And don't let it freak you out. It's easy. It's easy. It's going to take a little bit of work, but it's, you know, once you get this down, you don't want to do separate copy boxes because it's going to be harder to manipulate. I'm downloading the assets folder. Sorry, I thought I had all this together. All right, so open up your Word file. And now I can share my screen. This is the Word file that I'm talking about. Copy that. Go back to your layout and take that copy box. And what we're going to do is we're going to I'm going to save this over here. Okay, just get rid of all of this separate copy. We're gonna set this the correct way. Okay. Then what you're gonna do is take the type tool and you're gonna click right over here, drag all the way to the very bottom, and you're gonna do Command V, which is paste. Now, this is the proper way to do it. Instead of doing all those little copy boxes, we're gonna have this box, which has way more copy in it. It's just not showing because my copy box is too small. See how that little red square there is saying, hey, you have more copy here. So we want to click off of there and we want to do another copy box. This one I'll just do like, since you have this as a one column, I'll just stretch it out to one column. So I just made a copy box here, separate. Click back into your first copy box that you created. Click on that little red square and it's going to say, hey, where do I have all this copy. Where do you want to link it to? You're going to click on that second box that you created. Now what that's going to do is anytime you shift this copy, watch what happens to the bottom copy. It shifts too. That's what you want. That's the best way to do it. Now you can go in here and you can set your text frame option. Say if you wanted, I think you had 3 columns. We'll do 3 columns. And because you only set this to be 1 column width, it's not going to do 3 columns. It's just going to do 1 column. All right, so then what you're going to do is you're going to set up your styles. So this is the body copy. And what we're going to do is we're going to set your body copies down. Now I'm going to just set this as a new one. I'm going to go to File, New Paragraph Style, Body Copy New. I don't want to mess it up with yours. Click OK. So we could probably just delete this one. Body Copy New. With this, we want to set the copy with like what you just did with the typeface. So I'm just going to keep it at Minion Pro. Let's do 10 by 14. We'll see if that changes whenever I go to my paragraph style. And I want to select this adjust to baseline grid. And what that's going to do is that's going to snap it so that all of your lines are very equal, you know, so you won't have any weird things going on here. Now, at this point, I have my type set at 10 points at 10 point letting. I'm sorry, set 10 point size and 14 point letting. That's a good ratio. But see how like far away this is? We don't want that. So what we want to do is go up to InDesign, we go to preferences, and we want to go change that units in, I think it's units and increments. Boop, boop, boop. We want to change now. Is it units and increments? I always get this confused. Yeah, okay. Points. Hold on one second. It's under one of these. Type units and increments. Grids. Okay, it's under grids. My bad. I always get that like kind of confused. All right, so what we want to do is we want to take this. Let's see here. We want to take this down. So go to preferences. Let me do this again so you're not confused. Preferences, grids. And we want to change the increment to a type, to a point size that's going to make sense for your type. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to grids. We set it at 10 point type. You could probably even go to 9 points if you're using 10 point type. See how it's kind of evening out those lines a little bit more. So now we have, and I want to apply this override. There we go. So now we have this body copy here. Let me go back. I need to adjust this back to 10. And then I think I changed this by accident too. Hold on one second. 75. Okay, and then all of my copies changed. So 10 by 14. There we go. So that's what I want. 10 by 14. Everything's good. I didn't need it. 1 second. Apply new copy. 10 by 12. Why is this not applying it? Hold on 1 second. Edit by copy new. 10 by 14. Align to a grid, all lines. That's another thing. So again, another thing that you want to do is double click on your actual style, and you want to go to indents and spacing and line to a grid. And then for some reason, this is giving me some, I'm going to go back to 9 points because I think that'll pull it all together. There we go. So 9 points is what I did. And just make sure that your type is 10 points by 14 if you're doing Minion Pro. Your body copy new, your indents and spacing, all lines are aligned. And then also make sure that this is set at 10 points by 14. Looks good. Go up to preferences, grids, change your increments to 9 points, 75, click OK. And that should be all that you need. Now, your subheads you have set here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a new subhead style sheet. Oops. Let's see if I can. New paragraph style, and we're going to name it subheads new. Everything should be set to what you had before, which I think I just lost that here. Let me undo that. I just lost your style. There we go. Let's do new paragraph style. Okay. So whatever you have this set to, you can highlight your subheads and just click on your subhead new. Now, the only thing with this is going to be a little different because you have your, you might need to adjust like your leading, for instance. So you just double click on that and then you can adjust your leading to be a little bigger. I would, maybe do like 16 if you're doing 17, or you could even take, I would probably take this down to at least 14. That might be the best thing. 14 points by 16. Okay. So now your lines are all going to align all across the page. You can change the color of your subheads just by going in here. You can make it bold. You can kind of change depending on, you know, what that font has to offer. You can change the color here. You could still, you know, do your little background colors too. It's up to you. Body copy. Another thing is when you have body copy, you want to make sure you either have a space after each paragraph or an indent. So let's show you how to do an indent. Space is easy. So double click on your body copy new. And then what you want to do is indents and spacing. And you want to do your first indent, first align indent. You want to set to no more than 0.125. Click OK. And you can see how that pretty much sets all of that perfectly. So go throughout once you know, redo your copy, redo the text, the body copy text, go back, set up your style sheets again, fix all of that so it all is, you know, all together, aligning and doing better. Whenever you're making those adjustments, you have an easier way to adjust that copy. All right, so the only thing is this is a little, it's not giving me as much room over here, so I need to see how I have some text that's still not showing. I have, let's see how much text we have missing here. Oh, just a couple lines. So we just need to adjust a few things. So what I would suggest is, maybe I would set a style sheet for this first column of text too. So I would do new style sheet, first paragraph. We'll name that. Let's go a little bit. All right, first paragraph. There we go. So adjust that so this has its own setting as well, and then you can kind of play around with this. All right. Pulling this down a little bit, pulling this up a little bit, kind of playing around with the space. I think that what you could do on this page, so you could allow that to bump up, is maybe make these elements a little smaller. So pulling maybe these in a little bit. And then you can pull this over a little bit more. You could reset your margin there. See how that kind of brought up your text there? Let's see if we got it all. Yep, that's it. So you can reset your margins here. Just go to layout margins and you can reset this to like 1 if you don't want to see that. Let's see, what did I just do? Oh, I'm on page 1. I'm making those changes on there. Whoops. You want to click on page 2 before you do that. There we go. See how that purple line goes away? So pulling this in just a little bit more, maybe pull it in just even more. So you have a little bit more margin space again on the left side of your copy. There we go. And you can pull this in. Another thing is it's a little hard to read the copy here because this blue is so dark. I would probably change that blue so it's a little less dark. So I would go to your properties in this instance and just select that actual square and just take it down. It always prints even darker than what is showing. So just to be cautious, just take that down a little bit. It can get a little distracting. There we go. So I would probably say between 20% is probably a good way to do it. But that's the best way to edit your copy so that you don't have any issues. The only thing is here, I would probably say, obviously the subhead is weird here. I probably bumped this up just a little bit. So that bumps that down. But now you have a weird copy issue over here that we need to adjust. So maybe in this instance, I will just push up. So I put the cursor right before M and just do a return, and that pushes that up to the next line. And then you don't have that weird break there. The only thing is when you do that, there might be a space in front of here you need to delete. So just kind of pay attention to your spaces when you do that. Also, there's an inconsistent space here we can get rid of. Remember, we're doing tabs, so we don't need it, or indents, so we don't need that. All right. So that is what that would look like once you revise this. Very, very important that you go back, redo your style sheets, redo your text so that it's working. This doesn't look centered either. I would center this. Use your, your tools to do that. I don't even think you need that white back there. So do exactly what I said. You have to have your baselines aligned. Okay, I have a weird spacing here now. After I did that, it's not aligning. 1 second here. That space that I put in is messing with my lines now. Here, hold on 1 second. Let me go back. There we go. Yeah, that is messing with my lines. Okay, so what we need to do here is just kind of pull this up like I originally said and get that to be a little, see how they're aligning now. And then now I have a weird space here I gotta get rid of. There we go. All right. Let me bump this down 1 more line. There we go. And maybe 1 more line again. So I think we have room on that. So I pull this up significantly and put a return there. Just make sure that you're aligning everything. And then you have room to bring this down, which is great because you're going to be putting a table of contents in here too. So this is all going to change once you get to the next part of this. It's kind of like I'm throwing you a curveball, which is typical in design. So you're going to have some adjustments anyway to do. So there we go. Kind of doing something like that might be kind of nice. And that way we're aligning everything. Now, of course, that's going to affect the way this is. But like I said, we can always adjust this. You have a nice big element here that we can always revise. Maybe bringing this up so it's a little bit like your other image. You can see more of it at that point. Maybe making these the same exact size would probably make sense too. More consistent. And then just pulling this out, playing around with how all of these space out here. You have an extra space here, get rid of. And then just I would try to get that lone sentence to be maybe fixed. And that another way to do that is just to kind of play around with your lines here. Okay, but that's the biggest thing is getting your texts in one flowing box. There, I just fixed that there, so that looks good. So that you're not dealing with it will be a lot easier to edit if you do that. It's just, it's going to be a nightmare if you keep it that way. You can even bring this down here if you want. So yeah, just getting the style sheets the way that they need to be. You can even copy this background if you want that to carry on. Paste that in here. Oops. Did I copy that background? Guess I'm taking something else here. Hold on. There we go. No, that's not it. What the heck? Must be grabbing something else here. There, that's it right there. Put that in the back. Send it back. Boom, there you go. Now you have a connection with the first page and the second page. I don't know why this is all freaked out now. I think I grabbed something. Oh, there we go. All right, just, if you need to, just go back, rewind what I said and play around with it. fix things that just need fixed. As far as, like I said, the major things are the text boxes in your style guides, getting the baselines aligned. Once you do that, once you have that all set, it should be easier to edit this. And just make sure everything's aligning. All right, I hope this helps.